Welcome to this explainer. You know, have you ever looked up at the night sky and just wondered, are we really alone out here? Well, today we're cracking open a seriously thrilling planetary detective file. And the crime scene, it's millions of miles away, sitting right there on the dusty red surface of Mars. For decades, humanity has been staring at our neighboring planet, hunting for clues. But we aren't necessarily looking for little green footprints in the sand. Instead, we're searching for chemical fingerprints left behind billions of years ago. We're talking about the literal building blocks of life itself.
I mean, that's the ultimate mystery, isn't it? Are the actual chemical clues necessary to spark life just hiding right next door in our solar system? Now, to solve a mystery of this massive scale, you need a dedicated detective, a totally pristine crime scene, and of course, the right tools. And let's be honest here, conducting cross-planetary forensics is agonizingly difficult when your crime scene is a whopping 140 million miles away. But recently got a major breakthrough published that completely changes how we view the red planet. We finally have some hard evidence to sift through.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, the search for life.
So our primary investigator for this case is none other than NASA's trusty Curiosity rover. Curiosity actually touched down on the Martian surface way back in 2012. Its main mission? To scour the harsh landscape for literally any evidence of microbial life that might have hung around billions of years ago. Fast forward a bit to 2020, and our robotic detective managed to collect some incredibly intriguing clay samples from a specific spot called the Gale Crater. Now, you might notice a pretty big gap in time there, right? Well, the rigorous, painstaking analysis of those dirt samples took years of double-checking and remote testing. All of that hard work led up to a massive reveal on April 21, 2026, when these groundbreaking discoveries were officially published in the journal Nature Communications.
Moving on to Section 2, the Glentorridon Dig.
To really get a feel for the scene of the discovery, picture this: the Curiosity rover sitting at a site nicknamed Mary Anning. And that's actually a super appropriate name, honoring the famous 19th century English paleontologist who uncovered all those monumental dinosaur fossils. This particular site is nestled within the Glentorridon region of Mars. So why there? Well, scientists actually have very strong evidence that this specific region once held water. And as we know, where there was ancient water, there were conditions that could have been super favorable to supporting life, if it was ever present, of course.
But seriously, how exactly do you run a forensic lab on another planet? Well, astrobiologists back here on Earth remotely directed a specific, highly advanced instrument array on the rover known as SAM, which stands for Sample Analysis on Mars. You can kind of think of it like a high-tech, easy-bake oven, but for space dirt. They used SAM to scoop up these ancient clay minerals, bake them at just incredibly high temperatures, and essentially sniff the gases that cooked off to see exactly what was hiding inside. This was literally a first-of-its-kind chemical experiment, and they pulled it off right there on the Martian surface.
All right, let's get into Section 3, uncovering the chemical clues.
So, the absolute most crucial takeaway here revolves around the number 20. You see, on a planet completely bombarded by harsh radiation and stripped of its protective atmosphere, finding just a single organic molecule would be a total miracle. But after the SAM instrument broke down those ancient clay samples, the team back on Earth didn't just find one or two interesting specks. No, they identified over 20 notable, distinct chemicals preserved right there in the shallow subsurface. The sheer volume and diversity of the organic molecules they discovered, it marks a massive, massive leap forward in our search for extraterrestrial life.
Let's actually dig a little deeper into the most surprising fingerprints left behind in that dirt. Out of those 20-plus chemicals, researchers found the very first instances of a nitrogen-containing molecule that actually has a structure resembling proto-DNA. To put that into perspective, it's kind of like finding the specific type of Lego bricks you'd need to build genetics just sitting right there in the Martian soil. Mind-blowing, right? On top of that, Curiosity's instruments flagged a specific sulfurous compound called benzothiophene. The really interesting catch here, benzothiophene is famous for being a sort of cosmic hitchhiker. It's actually known to travel through space by hitching rides on meteorites.
Which brings us to Section 4, what the evidence means.
To really make sense of all this, it helps to listen to the experts who are knee-deep in the data. Take Amy Williams, for example. She's a geological scientist working with the Curiosity team, and she puts it perfectly. She says, the same stuff that rained down on Mars from meteorites is what rained down on Earth, and it probably provided the building blocks for life as we know it on our planet. So what does this actually mean for us? It means billions of years ago, both Earth and Mars were being bombarded by the exact same space rocks, carrying the exact same chemical starter kit for life. The very ingredients that eventually made you and me, they were also raining down on Mars.
But okay, let's put on our skeptical detective hats for just a second. We really have to separate the circumstantial evidence from an actual smoking gun. What Curiosity found are the building blocks, complex organic carbon and molecules. Basically, we found the bricks, but we definitely haven't found the house. We absolutely do not have proof of ancient organisms or actual life forms yet. Without being there to examine it in person, we just can't definitively say if these compounds came from past life forms, from a meteorite crashing into the surface, or honestly, just through standard non-biological geological processes.
Even so, we definitely shouldn't downplay this discovery. Let's bring back Amy Williams for a second, who notes it's really useful to have evidence that ancient organic matter is preserved because that is a way to assess the habitability of an environment. To put it super simply, we now know for a fact that the harsh, highly irradiated Martian surface is actually capable of acting like a giant cosmic freezer. It can preserve these complex molecules. It proves that the chemical evidence doesn't just evaporate or disappear. It actually survives the test of time, just waiting for us to dig it up.
And finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Next Steps in Space.
This single, incredible breakthrough has basically drawn up our roadmap for the future. Curiosity supplied the very first sample analysis on another planet, but it was really just the pioneer. The upcoming Rosalind Franklin mission is going to take these exact same chemical experiments and literally drill even deeper into the Martian surface. But hey, we aren't just stopping at Mars. We're looking much deeper into our solar system, with the Dragonfly excursion getting ready to explore the thick atmosphere and the fascinating surface of Saturn's moon, Titan.
All of this leaves us with one final, totally thrilling thought. If a single rover just scooping up dirt in the Gale crater can find the chemical precursors to DNA, what kind of organic secrets are these next, vastly more advanced missions going to unearth in the dark, icy depths of space? The building blocks are out there, perfectly preserved in the dust. The only question now is, when are we going to find the life that they built? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep your eyes on the stars.